Hello everyone, my name is Kunjal Ajit Golipkar. I am a student of 3rd year B Pharmacy from Shivaji Rao S. Zondaya College of Pharmacy, Asanga. Today, I am going to present a topic from the subject Industrial Pharmacy 1, that is tablets. So let's begin. So let's start with the introduction. First we will see the definition of tablets. Tablet is defined as compressed solid dosage form containing medicaments with or without excipients. According to Indian Pharmacopoeia, pharmaceutical tablets are solid, flat or biconvex dishes. Unit dosage forms prepared by compressing a drug or a mixture of drugs with or without diluents. So, according to the definition of tablets, tablets are unit oral dosage forms and most common dosage forms available in the market. They are compressed solids which contain various drugs or medicaments without excipients or additives. A wide range of drugs can be given by the means of tablet dosage forms. As per Indian Pharmacopoeia, tablets are solid, flat or biconvex in shape and they are prepared by compressing drugs or mixture of drugs. Now we will see the advantages of tablet dosage forms. First, they are unit dosage form and offer the greatest capabilities of all oral dosage form for the greatest dose precision and the least content variability. So, tablets are the dosage forms which offer the most precise dose and has the greatest capability of medication. It has least content variability, that means it contains very less variations when it is formulated. Next is cost is the lowest of all dosage forms. That means its manufacturing and other costs are very less compared to other dosage forms. Third is lighter and compact. Fourth is easiest and cheapest to package and strip. These are very easily understood. Next is easy to swallowing with least tendency for hang up. That means it can be easily swallowed with less chances of hanging up. Sustained release product is possible by enteric coating. That means slow release or uniform sustained release of dosage form is possible in tablet formulation. For example, enteric coated tablets, those tablets which have special coating to avoid destruction of tablets by means of gastric acid. Thus, tablets can release their medications without getting damaged. Next is objectionable odor and bitter taste can be masked by coating technique. That is, some drugs or medications have unpalatable or sensitive odor or taste which can be masked using tablet coating technique for easy delivery of such medications. Next is greatest chemical and microbial stability over all dosage forms. Tablets are most stable when it comes to chemical and microbial stability in oral dosage forms. So here are some disadvantages of tablet dosage forms. First is difficult to swallow in case of children and unconscious patients. It can be easily understood. In the case of children and unconscious patients, tablets are really difficult to swallow and in those cases we cannot administer tablet as a dosage form. Second is some drugs resist compression into dense compact owing to amorphous nature, low density character. That means there are some drugs which have amorphous nature or low density, that is, they do not have proper shape or they are brittle. Such drugs are difficult to compress, which causes problem in tablet compression. Next is drug with poor wetting, slow dissolution properties, optimum absorption high in GIT may be difficult to formulate or manufacture as a tablet that will still provide adequate or full bioavailability. That means there are some drugs which are poor wetting agents, have slow dissolving nature and get highly absorbed in GIT. Such drugs won't provide full bioavailability and those drugs are difficult to formulate as tablets. Next is bitter tasting drugs, drugs with objectionable odor or drugs that are sensitive to oxygen may require encapsulation or coating. In such cases, capsulation may offer the best and the lowest cost. As we studied in advantages of tablets, that some medications have bitter taste and odor. This taste can be masked by tablet coating. But for such drugs, capsule formation is more preferable option than tablet coating. Now we will see different types of tablets. First are tablets which are ingested orally. It includes compressed tablets, example paracetamol tablet. Second is multiple compressed tablets. Third is repeat action tablets. Fourth is delayed release tablets, example enteric coated bisacodyl tablet. Sugar coated tablets, example multivitamin tablets. Film coated tablets, example metronidazole tablet. Chewable tablets, example antacid tablets. Second category is tablets used in oral cavity. First is buccal cavity, example vitamin C tablet. Second is sublingual tablet, example Vicks and menthol tablet. Third is stroches or lozenges. Fourth is dental cones. Next category is tablets administered by other route. First is implantation tablets. Second is vaginal tablets, that is clotrimazole tablets. Fourth category is tablets used to prepare solutions. First is effervescent tablets, example Disprin tablet which contains aspirin. Second is dispensing tablet, example enzyme tablet which contains digiplex. Third is hypodermic tablets, and fourth are tablet triturates, example enzyme tablets or digiplex tablets. Here are some examples of the tablets which we can see. The first is compressed tablets. Here are the sugar-coated tablets. Mostly sugar-coated tablets are used for the patients who are in unconscious or mostly for masking the unpalatable odor or taste and also administered to children. These are film-coated tablets. These are effervescent tablets which produces effervescence or CO2 when they are added in the water or any solution. These are enteric coated tablets which are coated for protecting the tablet from gastric juice. And last is chewable tablets. Now we are going to see the excipients or the tablet ingredients. In addition to active ingredients, tablets contain a number of inert materials known as additives or excipients. So, according to the statement, excipients are those substances which stabilize or increase the bulk of the tablet formulation. Different excipients are diluent, binder and adhesive, disintegrants, lubricants and glidants, coloring agents, flavoring agents and sweetening agents. Now we are going to see in this table the various excipients which are added in the tablet and their description. First is fillers which we call as diluents. The most common diluents or fillers are microcrystalline cellulose MCC, lactose monohydrate or anhydrous, mannitol, sorbitol. The fillers or the diluents function by adding the bulk to the dosage form. They increase the bulk of the dosage form and also contribute to dissolution and disintegration of the tablet in the body. Second is binder. The most common binders used are polyvinyl pyrrolidone, PVP, hydroxypropyl cellulose, HPC, and starch. The function of the binders are, it binds the powder ingredients to form granules for processing. Third are disintegrants. Most common disintegrants used are cross-carmellose sodium, CCS, cross-povidone, XPVP, sodium starch glycolate, SSG, starch. Different functions of disintegrants are disintegration of tablets to granules and powders on coming in contact with water. That means when the tablet comes in the contact with the water present in the body or in the intestine, it disintegrates into fine granules. Fourth is glidant and lubricant. Examples of common glidant and lubricant are colloidal silicon dioxide, magnesium stearate, stearic acid, sodium stearyl fumarate. The function of glidants and lubricants are, they aid to the flow of granules, aid the flow of granules and blend and ejection of tablets in tablet process, tablet press. Next is coating material. The most common coating material used is polymers such as hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose HPMC, ethyl cellulose EC, polyvinyl alcohol PVA, plasticizer example polyethylene glycol, opacifier example titanium oxide, glidant example talc, colorant example iron oxide red or yellow. The functions of coating material is it provides a physical barrier coating on the surface of compressed or core tablets such as we seen in enteric coated tablets. Next is coloring agent, which includes the most common coloring agents are iron oxide red or yellow, FD and AMPC which is blue. The function of coloring agent is to apply a visual appeal of color to the tablets. Next is stabilizer. Stabilizer consists of commonly used stabilizers consist of antioxidants such as ascorbic acid, butylated hydroxyanazole BHA, butylated hydroxytoluene BHT, alpha tocopherol. The function of stabilizer is to stabilization of the drug in the dosage form from stresses such as oxidation. Next is sweetener. Sweetener we use is aspartame, saccharin, sodium sucralose, S-sulfatame, potassium. The function of sweeteners are sweetening is to overcome the drug taste and to also improve the palatability of some types of tablets. Sweeteners, as we have seen, there are many tablets or many drugs which consist of unpalatable odor or taste. Such can be masked using sweeteners. Last but not the least is flavoring agent. Flavoring agent, the most common flavoring agents we use are proprietary flavors such as orange, pineapple, etc. The functions of flavoring agents is flavoring to overcome drug taste or to improve palatability for some of the tablets. Now we are going to see the excipients function, that is, what are the functions of excipient in tablet formulation. Excipients impart weight, accuracy and volume. It allows accuracy of the dose. That means it increases the weight, accuracy and volume of tablets. Next is improve solubility. That is, it increases the solubility of tablet in the body. Third is increases stability. It increases the stability of tablet. Fourth is enhances bioavailability. That means it increases the bioavailability, which is it increases the extent and rate at which the active moiety or the drug metabolite enters the systemic circulation. Next is modifying drug release. Sixth is assist product identification. Next is increase patient acceptability, and last one is facilitate dosage form design. Now we are going to see the tablet processing methods or the manufacturing methods for tablets. In this flowchart, we are going to see three different types of tablet production processes. There are different steps in tableting methods or tablet manufacturing methods. First is direct compression. In direct compression, drug with excipients such as diluents, glidants and disintegrants are mixed using various mixing machinery. In the next step, it is mixed with lubricant. Then it is transferred into a compression mix that is going to be the compressed, which is followed by filling of the die or the mold of the tablet. Tablet is soon ejected. It goes through a metal checking, then dedusting to avoid the sticking of the tablets. The tablets are further coated with protection film and then they are sent to packaging. So this was the process of direct compression. The next method or the second method is dry granulation. In dry granulation, the drug is weighed and mixed with excipients such as diluent and lubricant, which is followed by mixing and compression, then comminution. Comminution is the process that means reducing of the materials. Then the reduced mixture is allowed a dry screening, which includes passing the mixture through different meshes and then mixing with the disintegrants, glidants and lubricants, as we can see here. Then it follows the same procedure as direct compression, that it goes through a compression mix, then it gets filled into the die, then the tablet is compressed and it is ejected through the die. And then the metal checking is done, de-dusting is followed, which causes the coating of the tablet, and then the tablet is sent for packaging. Last method is the wet granulation method. Wet granulation method, the drug is weighed and mixed with the diluents. It follows a wetting procedure which includes mixing with the binders and solvent, as we can see here. Then it is granulated and dried. It is then screened through a suitable mesh and mixed with disintegrants, glidants and lubricants. It also follows the same procedure as direct compression afterwards, as we can see here. The next step or the next most important topic is sizing. The sizing, size reduction, milling, crushing, grinding, pulverization is an important step in the process of tablet manufacturing. A fine particle size is essential in the case of lubricant mixing with granules for its proper functions. Various types of machines may be used for dry sizing or milling process, depending on whether gentle screening or particle milling is needed. The range of equipments employed for this process is fluid energy mill, colloidal mill, ball mill, cutting mill, roller mill and conical mill. So for the process of sizing, we use different kinds of mills or different types of mills, which I have enlisted here. Now we are going to see the process of mixing. Successful mixing of powder is more difficult than mixing of liquid, as perfect homogeneity is difficult to achieve. This means that when it comes to liquid, it is much easier to mix the components and form a uniform mixture, but in the case of powders, the homogeneity or uniformity of components is difficult to attain. Each process of mixing has an optimum mixing time, and longer mixing may result in undesired product. The optimum mixing time and mixing speed must be evaluated. Over-mixing can cause problems in the formulation of the product and the tablets. Third is, blending prior to compression is normally achieved in a simple tumbler blender. The blender may be fixed blender into which powders are charged, blended and discharged. It is now common to use a bin blender. So various blenders are used for achieving proper mixing, and common blender which is in use today is a bin blender. Various blenders used in the mixing procedure are as follows. First, V blender, which we can see here. It is a V-shaped blender. Second is oblicon blender. An oblicon blender is an oblique cone type blender. Here we can see the shape of a cone which is present in an oblique shape. Next is container blender. A container blender includes a container like as we see in this picture. Next is tumbling blender, the blender which causes the tumbling of the mixture or the tablet formulation. Next is agitated powder blender, or we can also call this blender as ribbon blender, because we can see various types of ribbon type mixers present in this blender. Now, the processing problems which arise during the formulation of tablet. Capping is the partial or complete separation of top or bottom crowns of tablet from the main body of tablet. So, in capping, the top or the bottom part of the tablet comes off partially or completely from the main tablet, causing a defect in the tablet. Such tablet cannot be marketed or used. Second problem which arises is the lamination. Lamination is separation of tablet into two or more distinct layers. Both of these problems usually result from air entrapment during the processing. So, in laminations, tablet is chipped off into many layers, causing problem in the tablet. This can happen due to air trapping during manufacturing. Third is, picking is removal of a tablet surface material by punch. So picking occurs when a portion of tablet is removed. It is a defect and mostly it occurs on the top surface of tablet. Next is sticking in adhesion of tablet material to die wall. These two problems result from excessive moisture or substances with low melting temperature in the formulations. So sticking is a problem which causes sticking of tablet mixture to the wall of the mold or die during manufacturing. This is caused due to excess moisture or low melting substances in the formulation. Next is mottling. Mottling is an unequal color distribution of tablet with light or dark areas standing on otherwise uniform surface. This results from the use of drug with a color different from a drug with color degradation products. Next is chipping. Chipping is breaking of the edges of tablet. Next is weight variation, granule size distribution, poor flow punch variation. Sometimes weight variation and unequal granule size distribution is observed in tablet manufacturing, which causes a defect. Next is hardness variation. Hardness variation is improper hardness of the tablet in some areas of tablet. Next is double impression monograms or engraving of punch. When engraving or punching of tablets, double impression or monogram is caused, which leads to defects in the tablets. So these are some problems of tablets processing which we discussed just now. This we can see is the capping. This defect can be seen is a lamination problem or lamination defect. This is cracking or chipping. This is chipping. This is cracking. This is mottling, which is unequal distribution of color. And the last one is picking, or we can say the engraving of the tablets, which is double impression of monogram. As we can see in this tablet, there is a double impression of the monogram which causes a defect in the tablet. So here we have completed with our topic tablets of industrial pharmacy. I hope you all liked the video. Thank you so much.